I have the feeling that even both players when they leave the stage, I think actually my game's in decent shape. Tremendous.
100. Gilbert requires 117.
For the match. He's going to get a dart for the match. It's double top. An energetic performance from Gilbert van der Meijden. That was a super game. I don't think Chris Herd's be too disappointed there, but that was professional from the man from Holland. Just look at the little fist pumps there. Remember, he's been at the bottom of the table in Group A, and all of a sudden that early win, we had a feeling we'd see the best of him. Great numbers there, and a sound foundation on a world to build. Next up, it's Reese Colley against Mikuru Suzuki. Well, I have the feeling that even both players when they leave the stage, I think actually my game's in decent shape. Tremendous.
100. Gilbert requires 117.
For the match. He's going to get a dart for the match. It's double top. An energetic performance from Gilbert van der Meijden. That was a super game. I don't think Chris Herd's be too disappointed. But for a 4-0 start to his Group C campaign.
No score. Mikuru requires
And that's
40.
the frustrating part of Reese Colley's game.
Game on the fourth.
Now he's got to do all the hard work again. Because
is it going to be elongated a little bit longer? Chance for Suzuki.
Oh, she's got to go downstairs now. It's treble. Oh, double 19. Not
58.
to be. So Colley
Reese requires
dodges
36.
the bullet.
And no collie wobbles in the end for Reese. He gets over that winning line. Much better performance there from Mikuru Suzuki. A big smile on the face. I think she'll think the game's in okay shape. She just walked into someone who came out pretty blistering at the beginning there. Okay, his average dipped in the end, but a delightful start for Reese Colley. He gets his first 2 points on the board. And the favourite for Group C is up next. It's Justin Hood against Christopher Toonders. Yes,
Justin requires
it's for the
60.
match. Again, another rapid game. This Group C has played at a fantastic pace with excellent quality. And Justin Hood gets his first 2 points of the Group C campaign. And Toonders, I think they're enjoying the rapid pace that you feel. 1-1-4 here, so it's tops. He's been dropping low a little bit. No problems this time. It's Desmond. Chance for van der Meijden from absolutely nowhere. It's only going to be the one dart. Too many times this week, Scott.
Yeah, it's
32.
all about the big numbers. He
Reese requires 9.
bluffed his lines there, but you don't miss them when you're 3-2 up. So it's double 4 for Colley, double 2, and he takes it.
And the match,
In what was an
Reese
entertaining
Colley.
game there. It goes 4 points for Reese Colley now. He goes top of the table early doors. That can only help his confidence. Averages there hindered a little by the double percentage. But Reese Colley won't worry about that. We head into a short break and we'll be back with Chris Toonders versus Chris Herds.
Very easy at the Motor Super Series to write your conclusion very early. But we've already seen this week where someone struggling against someone who's beginning to start stamping their authority on the match.
Game on the first leg.
And Suzuki leads
Mikuru
1-0.
Suzuki.
Beautiful start. A 15-darter. John Peoples ringing me after a Super League game. Very late on. I knew it must have been important for him to ring me. They tell me I'd been picked for the British Internationals, I think it was, in Wales.
140. Mikuru requires 161.
That's cool. I'll go on to that in a minute.
Well, she's been brilliant so far, Scott, hasn't she? But she's just fallen asleep a little bit in this leg. She likes the bullseye on the 161 here, just to leave that 96 finish, however.
Justin requires 85.
Chance for Hood.
Game shot in
chance
the third
indeed.
leg. Justin Hood.
Suzuki.
Mikuru requires 24.
Double 12 to get back that lead.
Game shot in the fifth leg. Mikuru
Tidying up. This is a good encounter here. I can watch these sorts of games all day, Glenn, I could.
I think today's been great. This is the form man, remember.
140.
It'll be a big win for Mikuru. Is he turning the screw? Remember, if the Group C campaign, I'm really looking forward to Group B tonight.
60.
We're back at 9:45. And also a big night in the world of darts with the Premier League as well. So get yourself a palm up and get yourself watching some serious amount of darts, especially with darts like that from Justin Hood.
180.
Questions were asked. 140, 180 start. His fourth 180 of this game.
What a response from Suzuki.
This is outstanding.
145.
What a potential 10 darter, Scott.
Fantastic from Justin Hood against the throw. And here comes Suzuki roaring back into it. She going to stay there? Oh, wow, wow, wow.
Justin requires
just a little
36.
smile on the face of appreciation there from Justin Hood for a 10 darter. Huge dart.
18.
Was it because of that 174 setup from this incredible performance from Mikuru Suzuki? That was a breathtaking game from two fantastic players, and Group C is wide open right now. Very, very enjoyable and well played to Mikuru Suzuki, and I think the referee enjoyed that as well. Smiles all around, including the loser there, who averaged 97.45 in defeat. But the best average of the week, Mikuru Suzuki, she now becomes a player in this Group C as we move on to Germany versus Holland. It's Gilbert van der Meerden against Christopher Toonders.
No, Gilbert
priority for
97.
These two.
Game shot on the first
14
leg.
darter. Again,
Gilbert
rapid
van der
pace.
Meerden.
Just round about a minute to play a leg of darts. Absolutely quality from the pair of them.
Christopher requires 108. Yep. Game shot on the
Fabulous
second
darts,
leg.
great camera work to see that the treble was in as well.
But yes, you're absolutely
Christopher
right.
requires 94.
He felt that if he was only going to get one dart, that was the way he wanted to go.
Another one of them. And what a
Game
finish from
shot.
Christopher
And the
Toonders. We've
match,
called him Mr.
Christopher
Unpredictable.
Toonders.
That was his performance of the week so far. You won't be able to take that smile off his face. It's 2 wins out of 3, and that's a real tough one for Gilbert to take because he was brilliant throughout that game. 94.47 losing average on the back of Justin Hood losing with a 97. This Group C campaign is really warming up nicely, and we've got a big game coming up next. It's Reece Colley against Justin Hood.
Reese requires 97.
So it's a 20 going for the ball, but 97 here for Colley. Double 10. Oh, lovely jubbly.
Game shot in the first leg. Reese Colley.
Right in the bottom corner.
Yeah, lovely jubbly because of that reason. That could have easily gone into double 50.
Reese requires 96.
It's a bit of a blocker for Reese. Oh, lovely.
76.
Didn't quite execute with
Justin
the last dart,
requires
but great
88.
innovation, great thinking.
A nervous look to see what Justin Hood has. Well, Justin Hood's got a double 7 for the match. And another
Game,
fantastic
shots,
finish, another
and a match.
exceptional game.
Justin Hood.
These two will be fighting it out at the end, that I am for sure. But the questions were asked about the favourite Justin Hood, especially after that defeat to Mikuru Suzuki. But he answered it very, very nicely. As you can see, Reece Colley dominated that game for majority. Just a bit lackadaisical on the checkout ratio, but a superb finish from Justin Hood. And next up, it is Mikuru Suzuki, and she plays Chris Herds.
Chris
Nicely done.
requires 80.
I build them up, and that's what they do to me.
Say nothing about Chris here, please.
60.
Oh, not quite, not to be.
Mikuru requires 16.
Yes, that's been the tail of the tape so far for Chris Hurd. Just not to be. But for
Game,
Mikuru Suzuki, her
and a
first
match.
4-0 victory.
Mikuru
Again,
Suzuki.
huge respect between the pair of them. Tough times for Chris Hurd. He's played 3, lost 3. But for Mikuru Suzuki, for the first time this week, she's now right in the mix in this Group C. She puts herself in a good position. Round about the 80 average throughout, but excellent on the doubles. Much better from Mikuru. And next up, it's Christopher Toonders against Reese Colley. Live Toonders.
Christopher requires 25.
That's another chance.
Game chart in the 5th leg. Christopher Toonders.
When you think this man is out. Just when you think he's done and dusted.
Reese requires 64.
He produces a 180. Stereotypical Toonders. But it's double 8 for Colley. And Colley goes top of the table with 6 points. Another very enjoyable game. Loving the respect between all the players. Big smiles again from both players. I think even the referee's enjoying his time today. But Reese Colley has looked really, really good at times today. And them numbers, very reflective of where he's been at. He was averaging around about the 90 mark. Just dipped down to the mid-80s there, but a good performance. He goes to 6 points. Who else can Suzuki also go to that? She's up next against Gilbert van der Meijden.
To
84, so chances for Suzuki. Treble 18 is just next door, 74 left. She could go back at the treble 18 or she'll come across to the 14s.
43. Gilbert requires 84.
Deja vu.
78.
I think he'd have rather bust than left double 3.
63.
Yeah, it's been very typical of his week. It's also been typical of the way Makuru's played the past day and a bit.
She'll go 18s for double 16. It's the way she goes. And away she goes. Again, we were talking about those little shots out, the 85s, the 80s, the 63s.
Menacing on 54. Oh, that's unbelievable. That wasn't happening on
Suzuki.
The Group A campaign. They get 1 from 9 on the outer ring now for Gilbert. He's been mopping these up. She may stay on double 19s. Lots of options. Double 8. Oh, wow.
Game shot in the 4th leg.
Oh, wow, that hurts.
Suzuki.
Gilbert van der Meijden will be thinking, how on earth am I 3-1 down?
Gilbert, you require
lovely,
170.
Lovely. And they drop in when you're 3-1 up. They don't drop in when you're 3-1 down.
And 170s don't often go when you're 3-1 down.
145.
I think that 3 darts sums up his week in his Group C campaign so far. But for Makuru Suzuki, it's 3 wins out of 4. She is having a fantastic day today. For Gilbert van der Meijden, he'll be thinking, is that the end of the road? Because he's got a very, very tough final game. But for Makuru Suzuki, the star of the show this week, remember, she's now showing the kind of form we were hoping for. Again, look at the losing average there, 95.37, but 1 from 10. It was in his hands. 4 from 6 for Suzuki. That was the difference. And next up, it's Justin Hood against Chris Herds.
The frustrating thing for him, he's not miles away. That's the point. If you're 3 inches above the treble, frustrating.
Game shot in the 2nd leg.
Hood has done that already today.
Just smashing it in the dartboard. He just kept himself together, kept professional.
134.
And you can just see that stem's wide open to Justin Hood. You could see that flight go on the floor an awful lot. Change of tactic here for Herds. And 182 left, so 18's a bull is the only option. So he is thinking up there, which is a
31.
Strange thing to say, but your mind can be a mush when things are not going right, Scott.
Can go particularly fuzzy up there at times.
137. Chris requires 128.
It's always hard when you're trying your absolute hardest.
80.
And your opponent just seems to be waddling on up
Justin
there and lobbing them
70.
up and everything going where he wants it to go.
Well, he'll want it to go in double 8. And in super quick time, Justin Hood wins 4-0 against the luckless and disappointed Chris Herds. You can just see there, it's not easy for Chris Herds right now. He'll probably get support from Justin Hood when he gets back and a little pat on the shoulder there. But Justin Hood's got to focus on what he needs to do. He puts himself in a fantastic position. He goes top of the table and he wins 4-0 It's the final games for all the players coming up, and it's Mikuru Suzuki up next against Christopher Tunders. She fancied that, didn't she?
Requires 80.
Yeah, that was a look of disappointment on her face there, and Tunders now fancies this.
Game on the
And
third
takes it.
leg. Christopher Tunders.
That's a breaker throw and gets himself back in the match, but
It's been very typical that this is the type of finish she's likely to put away, but she needs a treble-double combination. Gets the treble, tops. Oh, what a finish.
On the fifth leg.
What a player.
Mikuru Suzuki.
She is not 2 times champion of the world for absolutely nothing. For her first 2 points of the week, she's kicked on since then. This would supersede that.
$89.
just had a look at my stats, and those 2-4-3 losses were when Mikuru actually had the throw.
The sixth leg. Christopher Tunders.
Go-to double. It's been a fabulous game of darts. Huge dart.
18.
What a fabulous setup.
Christopher requires 40.
But just fluffed her lines. That's reminiscent of the start of the week for her.
Great game once again. It's 4 wins out of 4 in the head-to-head between the two of them. What might have been for Mikuru Suzuki, but she joins, and 4 players are now on 6 points. And let me just say, Christopher Tunders, he had the day that he wanted to forget yesterday, and he's come back, he's bounced back. The consistency's been there. The flashes of brilliance have been there. The friendship is there between them as well. Another very, very enjoyable game in this tightly fought Group C. Nothing to separate them there in the numbers. Beautiful finishing from Suzuki. But Christopher Tunders, he deserves the respect for a big, big win. The penultimate game of the day. It's Chris Hurds against Reese Colley. Hurds can check out in this 106. He didn't think he was going to come back. He can still do it with treble 17.
65.
He hasn't been at his best as Reese Colley in this match. The beginning, it just looked like he was going through the motions. He put his business head on here at the end.
10.
Bent the blade again, and
Chris requires 41. No score.
You can see the oohs and the ahs from the players
10.
there as well, because there's this gaggle of players on 6 points. Reese Colley has the opportunity to go top of the table. What
6.
a scrappy last leg.
Chris
I
requires
think it shows
41.
the importance of the last leg. That's why.
Desperate for his first win. You can just see, just needs to focus on the double 16.
$25.
You feel for him. You really do feel for Hurds here.
4.
Yeah, the shake of the head for Reese Colley, but he knows the importance of this double. It could be the difference of qualifying for Saturday night. And Reese Colley gets there in the end. It's 4 wins out of 5 for the Aston Villa fan. The man from Dudley somehow gets over the line. It's been a disastrous day from Chris Hurds. You can see by his body language the disappointment. But for Reese Colley, he's got to put that to one side, and it's job well done. 4 wins out of 5. He'd be very, very happy with that. However, he will need to improve on his doubles going into tomorrow. The final game of the day sees Justin Hood against Gilbert van der Meerden.
Justin, you require 126.
It's all on the 19s. It's double 6 for the match. And what a way to finish a fantastic day of darts. A very, very enjoyable Group C campaign. Get the 2 big hitters in.
Justin, you require 126.
It's all on the 19s. It's double 6 for the match. And what a way to finish a fantastic day of darts. A very, very enjoyable Group C campaign. Get the two big hitters in Reece Colley and Justin Hood. They sit pretty at the top. Justin Hood, 1-2-6 finish there. Treble 19 for the double six. Gilbert van der Meyden just sits on the 2 points now. And that is going to be a big, difficult one to catch from there. But for Justin Hood, he was the big favourite going into Group C. He is on 8 points. Reece Colley sits by the side. Well, that's just a little word for Mikuru Suzuki as well, because those positions of getting to 6 points was really, really good from her. But will she be frustrated with those missed darts? But it was played at a great pace, this Group C. Very, very enjoyable day, and very much all to play for tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you very much, Glenn. Yeah, Justin Hood, fantastic day for him. We were just chatting, trying to remember who beat him. It was Mikuru Suzuki earlier on. We said at the start of the day, Reece Colley and Justin Hood would be the two to beat. It turns out they have been, but it hasn't been that simple how it's played out, has it?
No, and fair play to Justin Hood. He obviously targeted Reece Colley as being one of his problems, did what he needed to do, went and beat him, but then Mikuru stepped into the place and she went and beat Justin, so that opens the door then for Reece Colley. And I think the two right ones are at the top at the moment. Mikuru can feel a little bit hard done by. She had those 3 darts to be there on the same points, but it wasn't for her. She'll be happy the fact that her levels have come up today, and she's been superb. Particularly her finishing was superb today. Unfortunately, it was that last 3 darts you'll remember.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's just cast our eyes over what's happened today. Here are the results from the 15 matches we played. A lot of matches actually there, Scott, what just jumps off the page. One against the throne. It shows you how competitive many of the games have been.
Yeah, we thought it was going to be a tight group. When we saw yesterday who was dropping into that group with who was already there, we knew that maybe the ones that have had a bit of a go during the week would then come to the fore in Group C, and that's kind of what's happened with Toonders and Gilbert, although Gilbert hasn't got the points he probably deserved today.
No, absolutely. Let's just talk about the player who's just won on this stage now, Justin Hood. He's been here before. He's won on this stage before. He's kind of made a name for himself here at the Modus Super Series. You mentioned before, didn't really have a great time at Q School and Challenge Tour, etc. But he's showing his stuff here again, isn't he?
Well, yeah. I mean, the thing is, with the Q School, if you're tight to getting a card, that's hard to take. If you're not anywhere near it, you don't feel like there's any problem. And he was tight to getting a card this time round. And then when you come out of there on a high and go into Challenge Tour, it's then very difficult to repeat it 1 week later. But you can see that he's in good form. He's in good pomp. He's taken out some good finishes. And he's taken out finishes when he needs to. So that tells me that he's not worried about too much at the moment. He'll go away and be happy with that 8 points today. And I think he'll feel like it's job half done.
Right, well, let's hear what Justin himself thinks of his performance today. He is downstairs talking to Glenn Durrant.
Yeah, Justin, 4 wins out of 5. You were the favourite going into the Group C campaign today. Happy with that?
Yeah, I'm not happy with the way I played, but I'm over the moon. You said at the start of the day I play like that and get 4 wins, I would have snapped your hand off for it.
Yeah, I've got to go back to Q School as well. That incredible disappointment of just missing out. And I just felt there was a little bit of a hangover going into Challenge 2 where you didn't play your best darts. Is that how you saw it?
Yeah, on the first day of the second stage, I played Steve Lennon. It was 3-all. I missed the ball for 170, took 164 out, and it gets to you a little bit. Like, you think it's not your year, and I went to the Challenge Tour. On the first day, I played well. I lost in the last 16 again, 94 average, played decent. But after that, I was just drained. It's a long time to be away. You're away 14 days out of like 18. It's a lot to do.
Yeah, the beauty of the Modus Super Series, it gives you the opportunities. It's always great to commentate on you, and I think you've got great characteristics. I think you looked really solid today without being at your brilliant best. What's the plan of attack for tomorrow?
Smash everyone.
That's a great attitude to have, and the most happiest thing, I mean, you got to the semi-final here last time I commentated on you. Are you here not to just qualify? Are you ready to win the big one Saturday night?
I'm going to win it Saturday. I need the trophy. The first time I come here, I won it. I didn't get a trophy, so I'm owed 2, so I'm getting them.
A refreshing attitude. Great to see you again, and the very best of luck.
Thank you very much, Glenn.
Yeah, always great to talk to, isn't it, here from Justin Hood. Said that he's going to smash everyone, he's going to win on Saturday, he wants to get his hands on a trophy as well. I mean, most darts players prefer the check to the trophy, but he really wants to lift that one again, and there's no reason why he can't.
No, there isn't, and he showed that today. And like I said, he's been very good when he needed to be today. Who's going to stop him? Well, the others are going to be trying to stop him, especially if they see that interview. But yeah, look, he's a confident man, and why not? Why wouldn't you not be confident when he's playing the way he is?
Yeah, finishing like that, there is nothing to stop Justin Hood. He's really confident, as we can see, and he's top of the table, of course. We'll talk about the man who's going to be his main rival tomorrow, Reece Colley. He did have a few little sort of wobbles, didn't he, in that last game against Chris Hurd, but got over the line in the end for those 4 wins.
Yeah, well, it was one of those games, and we've seen it 2 or 3 times already this week, where even in Group A, where the bottom was starting to play the top, and they just turned them over 4-3, and then that started the movement for the lower player. But today, Chris Hurd, he really did have a chance, and he let it go, and Reece didn't make a mistake. The hardest thing to do is hit doubles when they're going one after the other, because you both want the leg to be over. But he got over the line. He'll go back happy with 8 points, Reece Colley, tonight, and yeah, he'll be feeling the same as Justin, that the day is going to be good for him tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. They are in pole position to be the 2 that come through from this group. But Mikuru Suzuki could have been in one of those spots herself. What will she be thinking now as she heads back to reflect on the date?
Well, unfortunately for her, she did so much right today, and the one thing that she did wrong was her last 3 darts. And as a dart player, you tend to not see past your last 3 darts. And she was taking shots out. Somebody would miss, and she would then go up with 2 darts in her hand or whatever for 16, go bang, bang, and be very assertive. And the one time she wasn't assertive was that very last game where she needed to be. And she missed 3 darts at a double. In the whole scheme of things, if you think about missing that 3 darts compared to what she did over the whole day, well, she did great. But unfortunately, as dart players, we let that get between our ears. We remember those last 3 darts, and it goes all a bit fuzzy in there for a while.
And what about the other 2 players that came in from Group A, in Gilbert van der Meijden and Christopher Toonders? How would you assess their days?
I think they both did well. We saw better from van der Meijden today. He probably hasn't got the points that he deserved today. And Toonders was a totally different player to yesterday. Everything that went wrong, he was huffing and puffing and stopping himself and stepping back and going in. And you and I both know he's an out-and-out rhythm player. So when you stop your own rhythm, you get what you deserve, and that's exactly what he did yesterday. I'm 100% sure he went back, jumped on YouTube, watched his performances, and then realised exactly what he wasn't doing right and wrong. Came back today and looked like he was enjoying himself, like he'd sorted the problem, he knew what he needed to do, and he played like it as well. So fair play to him. Sometimes you have to do your homework, Chris, that way, and go and look and try and work out your mistakes, and he did that very well.
Right, let's show you the league table at the halfway stage of Group C. As we've been talking about, Hood and Colley both getting 4 victories. That's 8 points. Mikuru Suzuki and Christopher Toonders on their shoulder. Are we saying that it's between those 4 players?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are pretty much. I think van der Meijden and Hurd have a big say in where it goes. They can now come, throw with freedom tomorrow, try and find something up here so that if they come in the future, they're not leaving here with a sore head and not liking the place. But for me, we saw that it was the 3 ADC guys at the bottom, and if we're fair, they're probably the 3 least experienced of the 6 in the group. And the 3 experienced ones in the group, they're there at 1, 2, and 3. Yeah,
I do just want to get a final thought about Chris Hurd, because particularly the way it ended for him, just the inability to hit that winning double. How much of a hangover could there be? How heavy could that weigh on him tomorrow?
It could be, but I'm sure he's going to be speaking to the right people tonight. That's what he needs to do. And I think if he goes and watches the last couple of games back, what happens as a dart player is when things don't go right, you think you're 20 times worse than you actually are. When it's happening to you, it's horrible. And then you go and watch it back, and then you think, hang on a minute, actually, I wasn't quite that bad. I don't know why I didn't do that, because, I looked good the throw before, but you're chastising yourself so badly and being so negative to yourself that you do stop yourself. And I think that was probably the case for Hurd in the last couple of games. If he goes back and watches, he'll see that that's what he did. And I think he could come out firing tomorrow, because he has all the ability to go through the day tomorrow. That's what people forget. He has the ability to go through the day.
Thank you very much, Scott. Just a reminder then that we are back this evening, 10:15 UK time. We've got Joe Mernon making his debut, as is the youngster Harry Gregory, and Ryan Harrington returning, a former finalist at the Super Series. So 9:45, tune into that live on Sporty Stuff TV and here on the Motor Super Series YouTube channel. But in a couple of weeks, well, there may be double trouble ahead.